Thank you for joining me with LemonWire. My name is Abhishika. I have rapper Jeremiah Stokes with me, and we're gonna be getting to know him today. We're gonna ask him a couple questions. So Jeremiah, how did you start your journey on making music?
Well, first and foremost, I was doing poetry before I was rapping.
Okay.
And I always had a way with words since I was like a really little kid. Like, I'm talking like 5, 6, 7. I would always, you remember iStep?
Yeah.
So like, on iStep, I would always score like no lower than 90 average on like reading comp, language comp, spelling, you know, those kind of categories. Anything that had to do with words, I just kind of like always understood them. And I was always like privy to using big words when I was younger.
Okay.
And, 15, I liked to write, but I didn't know how to rap. So I started listening to a bunch of really crazy underground artists like Earl Sweatshirt, Kendrick before he blew up, Schoolboy Q. But yeah, I really just kind of listened to a lot of my favorite artists and was just like, wow, I can do everything they can do. So the fact that I can do what they can do means that I can do it myself too. And I was always quoting my favorite songs all the time, and I'm just like, why not make my own music and quote myself? You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, that makes sense.
Just kind of started like taking the recording half seriously when I was like 18, and then turned myself into the brand that I am right now. And really started getting more shows and more, publicity, more, bigger names noticing who I was and stuff like that.
So how did you actually get into like the physical, like when did you like, you said it was 18 that you were like, okay, I'm gonna like actually work on music now. So you just started going to studios? Did you start writing at that time, or?
First it was me and my homies at the lunch table. We would just really just write a bunch of stuff and rap together. And I wasn't really rapping the stuff that I was writing though when I first started. Like when I first started, I wasn't rapping my own stuff. Like it was like always some super underground verse from like my favorite artists that like I know nobody knew. So I was just like, all right, cool. Now I can just like get back to trying to make my stuff perfect and stuff like in the shadows. And then eventually I started writing. I started this one flow pattern, and I'm just like, wow, this is actually kind of hard. I'm gonna start rapping my stuff. And from there, everybody was just like, bro, you're a monster. Like, you need to like take yourself seriously. And I'm just like,
yeah.
I mean, I think I'm cool, but I appreciate it. And
well, it's always nice to get like positive feedback and stuff that pushes
always. It felt great, like seeing all of these people that I respected, like as like artists and stuff, look me in my face and be like, yo, you need to hone in on that, because that's crazy. Like, I've never heard. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. I ain't never heard no shit like that before, dog.
Yeah.
Like you definitely got something. Like if you like polish that more, you could be crazy out here. And since then, I've just been like obsessed with like being one of the best, if not the best lyricists in the city. Like I genuinely like strive to be that. Like.
Okay. So what do you feel like your sound is? Because I feel like it's specific to you, right?
Yeah.
Like you're talking about your brand and stuff. Like what is that?
Man, I'd say it's so weird because I do so many different kind of songs now, and like all of my music sounds completely different. And the adjective I could use to describe it, I'd say melancholy. Like a lot of my shit's very.
Where the therapist at?
It's very sad music, like lyrically, but like even with like them being sad songs, I try my best to like, create a song that is like a happy vibe. Like my most popular song, Corona. Corona is a very happy, upbeat, fast-paced song, but the message is about my dead homie. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and appreciating people before they die and before they go and shit like that. But the song itself, if you're not listening to the lyrics,
you're just like,
it's a cool vibe to like just like groove and dance to. But I definitely say a lot of my music is melancholy as hell, and just like, melancholy and introspective, I'll say. Yeah,
I could definitely see that too. Would you consider yourself a conscious rapper?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. I identify with Kendrick as far as that goes. Like how he's like, I'm not a conscious rapper. I'm just socially aware.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not. And he even said he's not a socially aware rapper at all. He's just like, I'm just a human, dog. And That's kind of how I look at my music as far as like how I make it, because I don't really pull inspiration from just like randomly waking up. Oh, I want to write a song. Like I typically just went through some shit and I'm just like, oh, I could write about that, or at least write about how that made me feel. Or write a song that depicts that feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to force it. Like,
yeah,
I feel like when you're an artist, you're just like, I feel this.
Yeah, when you're a real songwriter, like you almost can't force yourself to just like do it. Like there are artists who function that way, you know, kudos to them. Like, you know, the Young Thugs, the Gucci's, the fucking I won't say it's forced from these guys, but like their work capacity makes it seem like they literally wake up and just do it. Like Draco, Flacco, yeah, it kind of feels like that. They kind of wake up and just
monotonous.
I won't say monotonous. I won't say that. They're very diverse. I love those guys personally.
No, but okay.
It's just I do feel like I won't say quality over quantity, but I will say that some of my favorite songs by both of those dudes got like drowned out and lost in the sauce because they work and drop an album every single month. But I respect the shit out of that.
Oh yeah.
Because albums are hard to put together.
Yeah. I mean, crazy work ethic.
For real. Yeah. And just it takes a different kind of mindset to be able to do that. And just I've come into a comfortable space knowing that I'm just not that kind of artist. Like, you know, I'm not the dude that's gonna drop one song every year or nothing, but like I'm definitely gonna like take my time on my work just because everything I drop is extremely near and dear to me. Like there's typically a crazy backstory to like everything that I've like written thus far. So
why do you pursue music?
To be honest, I've never really connected with anything as deeply as music like in my life. Like mine is video games, and you know, I don't know if this is too TMI or not, but like, you know, mine is video games and fucking sex and drugs and shit. Like I genuinely have not connected to something so intimately, like ever. Like music feels better than love to me. Like, and it's kind of sad, but like
I think it's
just,
you feel like you're connecting with yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like the same reason I write my stuff is the same reason that I am like obsessed with music and why I wanted to pursue it, because it's like when I listen to my favorite artists or like even somebody that I am not super hip to, they rap or sing a song and I'm like, holy fuck, that was my life for like the last 2-3 years, dude.
Yeah.
And like I'd never heard this song. They dropped this shit back in 2011. You know what I mean? Like, just that kind of shit is like, that's unmatched as far as how something from literally a decade ago could evoke such a strong emotion. And it just, I was like, I want to do that for people. The way that music makes me like, you know, tear up or smile super big or just like yell when I'm mad excited, like a crazy lyricist. Like I want to be able to like make music so people can listen to me and be like, yo, that was crazy. And like whatever crazy means to them, that could be tears, that could be laughter, joy, they want to dance, whatever it is. I think also we forget too that we're all, you know, like we're just people, and we all feel things and we all feel alone, right? But then we all do things that other people vibe with, and then I'm sure that when, you know, some artists like put out stuff like and other people respond to it, they're like, oh, I thought this is something that I was feeling singularly, right? So it is crazy to like have so many people on earth all think that they're like alone. That's what's so crazy. I was literally about to say that. I was like, everybody, humans essentially, because we are tribal creatures, like we're pack animals at the end of the day. We're mammals, like we're mammals with common sense that ask the question why at the end of the day, but we're still animals. And it's just like, we all have this need to want to be connected to some capacity. Some people are fucked up in the head and like do that in a very toxic and negative sense. But then there's also like great people who, you know, influence millions of people in a completely like just altruistic, positive way. And it's just because they wanted to feel that and not just feel that for themselves, but also, you know, so because some people take pride, like myself, I take pride in being at the epicenter as far as like creating a vibe for a bunch of other people to connect. Like I don't mind being the dude that's like singularly in the middle by myself, as long as I can like look around me and see all these people that are connected because of me. You know what I mean? Like I've introduced some people to their now best friends, and I barely talk to the person that I introduced them to, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, but I still feel good about that. It feels great. And there's people who like to be connected, and then there's people who like to connect people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm a cool mix of both, with more so the second one, because humans always feel like they're alone, but they're totally not. And it's just some of that is because we often isolate ourselves. And like, I read somewhere in this really cool book I'm reading, it's called Chiron and the Healing Journey. Chiron referencing Pluto's satellite, Pluto's moon, essentially, or one of its 5 moons. Chiron in Greek mythology was Hades' like right-hand man. He was the dude that was like, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody in the comment section sees this shit. He was the dude that was rowing the boat down the river Styx. Okay. Navigating people to Hades, letting them, telling them about their life, saying like, this is why this happened to you, this is why you're here. Doesn't mean it's too late, but you are here though. So you need to figure out how to navigate through the 7 gates and shit like that. And Chiron was known as the wounded healer. And there was an excerpt in that book that said a man's identity isn't created in isolation. It's created in finding out what his place is in society. Like, your true self is only going to like surface when you're around.
It's when you figure out where you belong.
Yeah, precisely. Like, once you figure out where you as an entity can like exist in the best possible way, like not just to benefit yourself, but the people that are around you, or in reference to children, people that you bring into the world. However you can exist in the most optimal way is where you're going to see who you really are. Yeah. And I feel like music was that for me. Yeah. Because I was just kind of floating, just drifting before that. So, I found a cool place.